We are streaming.
Alright. Oh, I should probably...
Now we are live.
I should probably put my phone on silent. That'd be a really, really good idea.
Ooh. Spooky.
Oh, is that the
lightning,
storm outside?
Thunder, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Spoopy.
I was about to say, like, was that me? Like, I got the washer and the dryer running over there, but...
No, that's... Alright. Oh, Jonathan's in the chat. Awesome. Alright.
Awesome.
We are live. Alright, you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Alright. What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse, as all of you may know me. I am here on what I'm calling, this time, the Sacred Realm, with Tevi. Go ahead and say hi, Tevi.
Hello, Tevi.
Alright. We're going to be doing something similar to our Hylian Gamescast that is live every weekend, and the different videos that post every day that has everyone discussing all the different news topics or Zelda topics. That is the podcast. This is similar to that, but we're just going to blah blah blah. I cannot talk. Words are hard. We're going to do something similar, but we're just going to cover the news and then go on. We're not going to be discussing the news for 15, 20, 30 minutes like we do in the other podcast. So, today's news is actually pretty cool. We have some Smash Brothers news. We have a rumor for the upcoming Nintendo Switch firmware. There's a lot of hate for the Spider-Man PS4 game because fans, I guess. I don't know. I understand why they're upset, but to me it's not that big of a deal. So anyways, let's get started with our first piece of news here. Comes from Reset Era saying rumor Switch firmware 6.0 update dropping very soon. Obviously, I forgot to mention, if you have any questions that you would like to have answered, super chats. We can't take time to read all of the comments until we're done at the end of the podcast to answer your questions. Otherwise, we would be interrupting every sentence with another comment from the live chat. So if you would like us to answer your question or whatever, then super chat. Anyways, this tweet, the news, comes from Reset Era. Mike Heskin says, retweeting for visibility, it's important we get nin updates up and running before nin update. That's it, yes. Before 6.0 drops. Yes, 6.0 is real and is getting very close to an official release. Still need a different Switch TLS client cert Priv K for nin updates, ideally before usual sys update time, preferably from a system that doesn't have any games, anything important. Mike Heskin is well known among the hacking, data mining Switch community and is a vulnerability researcher. It's been a while since the last firmware update, and considering Switch Online is dropping next month, it isn't that surprising. It should be something a tad more substantial than usually, though. If we speculate from that tweet, server maintenance was most likely for the prep of its release. Anyone can try a DL, a sys title, with a potential 6.0 version. By the way, how do you find out to be that certain? That was a retweet comment of Mike Heskin's tweet, saying, a friend of mine who's a registered developer warned me that it got uploaded to the developer CDN. It has been in beta for quite a while now. I would imagine it would be in beta for a while now, especially since this potentially is the update with the online service. So it makes sense that, you know, since before the Switch even launched, they would be testing out this online service, especially with the different games they're adding voice chat to, like the NES and SNES. Yeah, cannot talk today. The SNES titles that we talked about on the last video that we did. Or I don't know if you were on that one. Might have been someone else. Anyways,
Maybe.
What are your thoughts on all of this? The 6.0 dropping soon, getting ready for the online service.
I'm very excited. You know, it's about time that we finally get the firmware update for 6.0, because we haven't really had a lot of system updates for the Switch recently, and it's just kind of been like this for the Switch in general. We've had a few titles drop this year, but nothing's really, you know, come up, and that's kind of how it is for the Switch firmware updates as well. So 6.0 right before the release of the Nintendo Switch Online service does make sense, and this would be their chance to update a few things, possibly get the online servers working perfectly or close to perfect, and hopefully we can get some more icons that we can use to customize our profile. I'm crossing my fingers for more Xenoblade stuff, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be just really interesting to see not just the update, but how they handle the online service, like how exactly they're adding the online multiplayer to some of these old NES games. I just want to wait to see how they do that. Like, the example I use is with Super Mario Bros. 3. Is the online multiplayer basically just going to be a leaderboard to where I play, and then my score goes online, someone else on my friends list can try to beat it, and then they just call that online multiplayer? Similar to how Wind Waker and Twilight Princess had the stamps or the Miiverse messages. Because technically that was online functionality, which it doesn't count as as online to me, but Nintendo called it online. So anyways, is it going to be like that, or if we play Super Mario Bros. 3, are we going to be able to play on the same screen at the same time? So that's the main thing that I want to know. But next we can move on to Spider-Man. This comes from, technically this comes from everywhere, but IGN's written up a post about it saying Spider-Man fans are arguing about puddle sizes. That's a very clicky title, not necessarily clickbait because it is true, but it's not what they're arguing about exactly. The subtitle says, "Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy Spider-Man climbed up the spout again." So this comes from Nick saying, "Some gamers who were looking forward to Spider-Man's release next week are claiming Insomniac Games has downgraded Spider-Man's visuals, leading to smaller puddles and several other perceived problems." A Reddit post from Thursday morning by Gulum Jewel compares Spider-Man E3 and release screenshots and has nearly 7,000 upvotes and 1,000 comments. Redditors are arguing over whether or not the textures look worse in the release version, but one thing everyone agrees on is that what once was a giant puddle is now a smaller puddle. Whether or not consumers will let this lead to a buying decision is unknown. While some fans have made jokes that it would be a silly reason not to buy Marvel Spider-Man, others are sticking to their guns and letting Insomniac hear about it on Twitter. The Twitter complaints have been coming in for more than a week now, with some of the earlier ones calling it a downgrade and hypothesizing that the puddles were scaled back to save resources and keep the frame rate steady. Insomniac ruled out both. They say, quote, "It's just a change in the puddle size. There's no downgrade at all," responded Studio's Twitter account. Continuing, Insomniac added that Spider-Man has plenty of other places with tons of puddles. And there's a bit of an example here that we can see. Nope. They did it the lazy way. They just took a snapshot instead of actually linking it. Anyways, the whole point of this, the screenshot that we're talking about is actually used in the thumbnail of the video. But basically what it is there's the puddle right here, and it's basically, because it's water, there's a lot of reflection, so it gives a visual look that it was like a more advanced or higher detailed version, because you could see all of the reflections in the puddle. And yes, it is storming outside, that is why you hear the lightning. And then in the newer version, the puddles dried up, and a lot of people looked at the puddle being dried up without the reflections and thought maybe they scaled the game back. Which some people or some developers do. There was a big fuss over Watch Dogs doing that whenever they first showed it off. It looked really impressive, and then once the game launched, it wasn't quite as good. It was essentially as if someone was on a PC and turned it from like maximum settings down to very high settings. So like not a huge difference, but enough for people to get worried about. With this, if it was to save the frames per second, Tevi and I were talking about this earlier. Like, I'm not sure whether or not I would probably, like, some people like higher details and other people like a higher frame rate. As long as it's at least the 30 frames per second, I would take a higher resolution or higher details over the 60 frames per second. So they could have done this to draw back on the 60 frames per second to cut out some of those dropped frames. Or, I guess I didn't say that right, to add in some of those missed frames. But I played the game at E3. I didn't really notice any difference from the way that it looks now. Playing the game, most of the time you're moving so fast that you're not even going to notice the puzzle anyways. So anyway, yeah, and I don't know, I think this is just kind of silly, to be honest. Because in the future they could just release more updates that make it, you know, like restore the puddle if they're really that worried about it.
Yeah, and people need to remember that developers make changes to their games all throughout development, even if it's the tiniest ones, just so they can make their game best that they possibly can. If you're complaining about a puddle, I don't know. So I think, like, I know there were some people like it's a puddle. Like, who's really gonna care? Like, them shrinking the size of this puddle is not going to affect me doing my 46 hit combo with Spider-Man. So I don't know what everybody's up in flames for.
Technically, like, if they were being like super realistic about it, you know, Spider-Man's silky smooth suit, if there was a bigger puddle, there's a bigger risk of him slipping in that puddle while he's jumping around and fighting these guys. So technically speaking, the puddle could stop you from getting your 48 hit combo. If you get to like 14 hits or something and then Spider-Man slips. That's a bad joke, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll leave. But yeah, it's just odd to me that people are complaining. There was another video that still gets tons of views. Not really tons of views, but it gets a decent amount still. It's about, there was a lot of people that were mad that the complete edition of Horizon Zero Dawn was coming out, and it had all of the DLC and stuff packed in with it for the same price as the original game. And it's like, yeah, this is what happens with almost every game.
Yeah.
Like, as time goes on, the games get cheaper, unless you play on Nintendo.
Yeah, that's literally the exact same thing that they did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Is that, you know, they re-released the game with all the DLC, and it was still $60. That's just how companies do it.
Yeah. All right. So, we're ready to move on to the next one?
Yep. Let's go.
Do you want to take this one?
Which one is the next one? Is it the Switch?
PS5.
Oh, PS5 Codename. All right. So this article comes once again from IGN. The internet thinks it's found the PS5's codename. This article is by Joe Screbbles. I apologize if I mispronounced that name.
It's a fake name.
Is it? If internet sleuths are to be believed, the PlayStation 5's codename is Erebus. Detailed by Reset Era user Gemu's Pizza, two lists of platforms in the Unreal Engine's 4 backend now include a mention of Erebus. Erebus seemingly wasn't a part of these lists until the latest update to the engine. One list is included below. And looks like Oh, this
Yeah.
this screenshot gives me nightmares.
Alright, basically it just has all the platforms listed. It says PS4, Xbox, Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, Switch, Other, and Erebus.
Yeah.
Um,
And there, the text right next to it, like you can look like platform name PS4. It has PSN next to it. Xbox has XBL. Next to Erebus, you have TST2.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if this really is the PlayStation 5 or.
Yeah, for me that says Test 2, like just a shorter version of I don't know though.
Yeah, I can see that.
The article goes on to say a few extra a few extra factors have contributed to why people think this could refer to PS5. First, the name itself, Erebus, is a Greek deity that personified darkness. More pertinently, he's pointed to as one of the first 5, get it, question mark, beings in existence. The last 3 PlayStation releases have had Greek-themed codenames. The PS4 was Orbis, PSVR was Morpheus, and PS4 Pro was Neo. It's worth pointing out that some think the continuation of the Greek codename means Erebus is a new model of PlayStation 4 rather than a brand new generation. For those wondering why they've jumped to the conclusion that this is a PlayStation and not an Xbox, that's because we've already heard multiple reports of Scarlet, the alleged next-generation Xbox available as both a traditional console and streaming console. That's... Okay, first I was about to say that sentence was weird because it says the alleged next-generation Xbox, and it's... Like I was thinking, Xbox came out and called it Project Scarlet, so it's not alleged, it is, but the way they worded the sentence was weird. So yeah, this is pretty cool, I guess. Like the closer that we get, obviously, the more stuff's going to be coming out, leaking for it. I remember Project Orbis was rumored long before there was an official announcement, and even back like right after the original PlayStation 4 released, someone was interviewing the lead of one of the leads of PlayStation, and they asked about the PlayStation 5, and the only thing that they said was the PlayStation 4 just released, so they're focusing mostly on that. But usually right before a new console comes out, they're already working on ideas for whatever the next thing is. And they said the only thing that they were really focusing on at that point was making sure that when it comes out, it would be the most powerful console. And it's basically the same thing Xbox says as well, with like the Xbox One X. It's the most powerful console. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not really much news here, but it is cool that we're getting something about the next generation. Should be here next year or the year after.
Oh yeah.
And then we had your Smash Brothers thing, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Alright, let me open that real quick.
Alright,
there we go. Now you can go to it.
Okay, do you want me to take this one?
Yes.
Alright, so Super Smash Bros. Ultimate characters for Nintendo Switch can be unlocked via amiibo. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for Nintendo Switch could allow players to unlock characters via amiibo, Nintendo's Toys to Life range. According to a description for amiibo set to launch alongside the hotly anticipated fighting game, you'll be able to unlock the likes of Wolf, Inklings, and Ridley through their respective amiibo. This was discovered on the listing for these amiibo on the website of U.S. retailer Best Buy. Simply tap the amiibo accessory to the NFC touchpoint on your game system to unlock the Space Pirate. Description on Best Buy reads via Nintendo Everything with similar text found for the listings for Inklings and Ridley. That said, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate should allow for characters to unlock by simply playing the game. Nintendo hasn't commented on this just yet, though. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate release date is December 7th. Previously, it was revealed that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is getting a special edition. Dubbed the Smash Bros. Ultimate Limited Edition, it will be available at the same time the regular version of the game, December 7th. This announcement follows the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate themed Nintendo Direct, which saw the addition of new fighters to the game's roster, such as Crumb from Fire Emblem, Simon and Richter Belmont from Castlevania, and King K. Rool from the Donkey Kong series. And in the limited edition, you get the copy of Smash, you get the GameCube controller, Smash Brothers edition, and you get the GameCube controller adapter. But I believe that this is for the European version. The American version, I believe, comes with a steelbook case for Smash Brothers, and it also comes with a Smash Brothers themed Nintendo Switch Pro controller.
Nice. We kind of added in the second piece of news that we wanted to talk about with that.
Oh yeah,
So
I didn't even realize that it was squeezed in there.
it all worked out.
It all works out in the end.
Yeah. So this basically the same thing they did with Mario Maker, where you could tap the character and they would appear on screen. So it's not the first time they've done something like this. It is a bonus for people who have been collecting the Smash Brothers amiibo since launch. But then we have the Smash Brothers, or no, sorry, we have the amiibo that aren't part of the Smash Brothers set. So like, if I tap my Shovel Knight amiibo on there, which I don't have a Shovel Knight amiibo, but if I did, and I tapped it, would Shovel Knight appear on Smash Brothers? That would be pretty cool.
I think that'd be pretty cool. But unfortunately, Shovel Knight's an assist trophy. Rip the dream. But hey, it's all right. He's in the game, and I'm excited.
Yeah, now we just need the Banjo-Kazooie amiibo.
Yeah. Oh man, if we get a Banjo-Kazooie amiibo, that's gonna sell like hotcakes.
Yeah. So I guess that takes us to the very end of the news, which means now we can answer questions. So
oh boy!
Anyone in the chat have questions for us to answer before we go? Let's see here. Jonathan says, in the trailers, there were huge puddles that reflected the world. In the actual game, they're small economic puzzles.
Let's see.
The complaint is that they maximize the graphics for the trailer, but deliver smaller graphic quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Jonathan also says that suddenly my amiibo collection is looking like a better investment. Yes, it is.
Nice.
I know I am going to be tempted to not use my amiibo to unlock the characters, because I want to try to unlock them via whatever new mode that they're going to add, whether it's this alleged spirits mode or whether it's through like classic mode or all-star mode or something like that. But I'm going to be tempted not to use those amiibo. Probably going to use one, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have too many amiibo. There was people like Daniel who have like a shelf full of amiibo, basically every amiibo there is.
Yeah.
Jonathan says, okay, I have a question. Go ahead, ask your question. DJ Danny says, should there be a story mode for Smash Brothers? Yes, there should be. I think there is going to be a story mode because we've seen there's the boss fights. And
yeah, I personally think that whatever this alleged spirits mode is, the green mode that was in the bottom left, people have been decrypting the blur, and apparently it translates as spirits. So we don't know what exactly it is, but I think that it is going to involve the boss fights in some way. I think that this is not going to be a story mode in the vein that Subspace Emissary was a story mode. I don't think we're getting like CG cutscenes and everything like that. I think it's just going to be a smaller story mode with a heavier focus on fighting bosses and recruiting characters or something along those lines. But yeah, I think this is going to be some sort of story mode.
Yeah, like I think it's just obvious that there's going to be some sort of story mode. It was the one thing they got the most complaints from Smash Brothers on Wii U and 3DS.
Yeah.
So bringing it back, because we've already seen them put a huge focus on cutscenes, trying to reveal certain things. So they have the higher polygon character models for the different characters. Like we've seen Luigi, we've seen Splatoon characters that are way higher.
You know, Samus, King K. Rool. For the all these high quality trailers, which look beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
But But yeah, I think most of their resources are going into the CG cutscenes, very similar to how they were in Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS, revealing these characters. So I don't think there's going to be a huge focus on the... If there are any cutscenes in this Spirits mode, I don't think that there are going to be as many as there were in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Because I believe that Sakurai has come out and said around... I believe it was the announcement of Smash 4 that he was not going to do an adventure mode because he didn't want the cutscenes to get leaked online like they did when Brawl came out. So, which personally, I don't think that's a very good reason to not do a story mode. But you know, it's his decision what he wants to do. I respect it. So we'll see what he does for Smash Bros. Ultimate. I can't wait. We are 99 days away from the game coming out. I am super excited. I got a countdown on my phone, and I've just been checking it every 5 hours. Like, is Smash Bros. Here yet? Is it here yet?
That's awesome.
Is it here yet?
The next question comes from Jonathan. It says, Tiv answered before I could ask it, but tell us, Jesse, if you had a ton of amiibo, would you unlock all the characters or play with restraint? I would probably tap all of the Zelda characters and then leave the rest to unlock. What about you?
If I had to scan, let's see, I would have to give myself a limit. Probably a limit of 3. If I had to scan those 3, it would be King Dedede, because he's my main, and then Young Link and Ganondorf. But it's only going to be one of those, because I don't have a Young Link or Ganondorf amiibo. Which I need to get before the game comes out, because I really want to unlock Young Link, Ganondorf, and King Dedede as soon as possible. They're my favorite characters in the game, and I just... this game can't get here fast enough. I'll just say that.
Alright, so this might be the last question unless another good one comes. But, let's see. What legendary Pokemon boss are they going to pick, do you think? So what legendary Pokemon would you like to see as a boss?
Alright, let's see. In Brawl, they had Rayquaza as the boss representing the Pokemon series. And I think that if they were to do another boss to represent Pokemon, it would either be they bring back Rayquaza, as a love letter to the Subspace Emissary, or they would probably end up doing...
Especially if they're bringing back every character. Then they brought back the old bosses, too.
Yeah, brought back the bosses. Unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to bring back every single boss because Ridley is a playable character now, and he was a boss in the Subspace Emissary. I don't know. Maybe they could just replace Ridley with Kraid or something. I don't know. Everybody likes Kraid, right? But getting back to the Pokemon, see, I really don't know because I don't know that much about Pokemon. So I would probably say they'd probably just do Rayquaza again, which I'm okay with that. I like Rayquaza as a boss.
I would like to see... Oh, man. Who is there?
See, I haven't played Pokemon in so long, I don't know what all legendary Pokemon there are.
So I would think they would pick, like, whatever the newest game is at the time, and then bring someone in.
Yeah, because I know Sun and Moon, Solgaleo and Lunala, I think their names are. They're already Pokeball Pokemon. So, honestly, I mean, either bring back Rayquaza or just put in another giant legendary. Maybe Groudon. I don't know. We haven't seen him as a Pokeball Pokemon in a while. So I think Groudon would be a pretty good pick. But, yeah, I really don't know what they would do for a boss character to represent Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already
Mega
lost.
Evolutions.
Gibbs brings up Mega Evolutions. In the Direct, when they were talking about the boss fight with Count Dracula, right before they started talking about the Alucard Assist Trophy, Dracula turned into his monster demon form from Castlevania Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night, like he did in the final boss. So I think that if they could try to do something similar for Rayquaza, just have him, just have him fight normally, and then halfway through the fight, he goes into his Mega Evolution. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we will, we'll see when the game comes out. I'm too busy. I am too busy trying to figure out if they are adding more bosses, who would represent the Zelda series.
Oh.
Because realistically, maybe
Calamity
either one of the
Ganon.
You think Calamity Ganon?
I think
either
it would
Calamity
be
Ganon
the
or
coolest that they could do.
oh yeah, either Calamity Ganon or maybe one of the Blights from the dungeons.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking not the beast form Calamity Ganon that you fight outside, but the one you fight in the castle.
Yeah, the actual Calamity Ganon as opposed to Dark Beast Ganon.
Yeah.
So, DJ Janny says Deoxys. I don't know. I don't think Deoxys is big enough to be a boss. And I think he's still a Pokeball Pokemon. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't know how many times. We'll see what happens. I'm just excited to see what boss characters they bring from the different series, because we already have confirmed Dracula and Rathalos from Monster Hunter as bosses. So I'm very excited to see who else they bring in from the different series, whether or not we get more returning bosses or we get completely new ones for each franchise.
I like it. All right. Oh no, DJ says Demise should represent Zelda. That would be cool.
Oh
so,
no, actually, I don't want Demise, because if they do the second form thing, then they're gonna include the Imprisoned, and if I have to fight the Imprisoned in a third game, I'm gonna lose my mind.
In a third game? Oh, Hyrule Warriors.
Because you fight him in Skyward Sword, you fight him in Hyrule Warriors, and if I have to fight him in Smash Brothers, I'm throwing my controller out the window, because that boss frustrates me no matter which game I play.
Yeah, you gotta fight him 3 times, and
oh, you gotta fight him 3 times, and then you get Ganondorf. Oh man, that'd be a nightmare.
All right, so I guess that's all of it. Everyone that was watching live, thank you. Everyone watching the edited for the I don't even know what to call it. Everyone watching the version that posts later, thank you for watching. Tevi, where can people find you?
You can find me at on my Twitter page at Ultimate Smasher. The spelling is wrong, I know. Don't yell at me. I've already had a lot of people yell at me. You can also find me on the Game Over Jesse Discord. I'm getting pretty active in it again. So if you want to stop by, say hi, maybe play some Mario Kart or something, then I'm free almost any time of the day. And then other than that, that's about it.
All right, and I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse. Everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Everything is /Game Over Jesse. No spaces, no underscores, nothing. Just plain Game Over Jesse. Thank you for joining, Tevi. Thank you everyone for watching. And with that, we are out.